Now talk to Ahmad Murid Partaw. He's a former national security representative of Afghanistan to U.S. Central Command. He joins us now from Tampa. Ahmed, good to have you on the program. Very soon after the deadly rocket attack in Kabul, the U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo landed in Doha, where he met with Afghan and Taliban negotiators. Is this a last push by a Trump administration official to sort of break this deadlock in the peace negotiations?
Thank you very much, and glad to be on your program. It seems like this is going to be the last push, as you mentioned, from the Trump administration in order to get a breakthrough in the Afghan peace process. Remember that the process started after the U.S. and Taliban signed an agreement back in February this year to pave the way for the intra-Afghan dialogue between the Taliban and the Afghan government. But unfortunately, as we are speaking, there hasn't been any breakthrough between the two sides because both sides are insisting on their points, which in this case, the Taliban insist on their emirates and the Afghan representatives on retention of the republic. So that has made the negotiations almost an impasse between the two sides.
Okay, so no breakthrough yet. But I want to sort of bring your attention to something that happened last week. The Pentagon, it said it would reduce the number of U.S. troops in the country, in Afghanistan, by nearly half, down from 4,500 to about 2,500 by the middle of January. How do you think this will sort of play out in the level of security in the country?
Actually, this was stipulated in the U.S. Taliban agreement that there will be a gradual U.S. withdrawal of its forces from Afghanistan. So the 2,000 that the Pentagon has announced, I don't think that will make any difference on the situation because the U.S. has already withdrawn the bulk of its troops in Afghanistan, and it's right now the Afghan National Security Forces who are doing the bulk of work to maintain security across the country. They are doing the fighting and dying on the battlefields in increased numbers, unfortunately. But moving forward, there has to be a U.S. presence in Afghanistan in order to exert influence on both sides, specifically on the Taliban, to make some concessions and come to the negotiating and join the Afghan government, the government.
You say there has to be some sort of U.S. presence in Afghanistan moving forward. I'm wondering what your thoughts are on how much of a policy change could there be under President-elect Biden when he takes office in the third week of January?
President-elect Biden has already said that he is going to retain some forces in Afghanistan because he still sees Afghanistan as a place which holds a strategic security interest for the United States. And that's rightly the case because there are numerous terrorist organizations, transnational terrorist organizations, which are still operating in Afghanistan. They may have been weakened as a result of the U.S. offense during the last two decades, but they are still operating alongside the Taliban in different parts of Afghanistan. So the job is not done, and the U.S. still sees Afghanistan as security, as important for its security interests. I think the Biden administration will retain some forces in Afghanistan, although it will definitely, as it has mentioned on its campaign, will decrease most of the forces, but at the same time will retain some counter-terrorist forces in order to focus on Al-Qaeda and Daesh specifically, and also support the Afghan National Security Forces in terms of training, logistics, and providing intelligence.
All right. Ahmad Murid Partaw, thank you very much for joining us here on TRT World.